Hey everybody, it's Tmika and I am excited to be able to share with you the projects I created for Gems and Friends Spring Fling event. This is an event hosted by Dee, owner of Elegant Embellishments, and also sponsored by several sponsors. Wonderful items were sent to us, and those sponsors include Carrie, the owner of Witchcraft Do You Do, Regina, the owner of the Cutting Cafe, Diana, the owner of Spare Marbles, Artie, the owner of One Little Dreamer, Natasha, the owner of Natasha's Scrapbook Corner, and Cindy, the owner of Making Memory Crafts. So you guys, all of the information will be in the description box. All of the previous videos that were uploaded for this entire event will be in the description box, and the links to the projects that were provided via we had SVG files from the Cutting Cafe, and then we had digital files from Spare Marbles. So all of that will be in the description box. The way to win prizes is that you go back to Dee's original video, which will be down below, and leave a comment on which project you enjoyed the most from all of the participants. You have to do that between May 7th and May 10th in order to win a prize. A lot of the sponsors are giving away prizes as well, so make sure you check all of the videos. Start with the first video and go all the way to the end of the event and leave a comment on Dee's original video to be eligible to win. Also, if you're interested in purchasing some items from Dee's shop, which is Elegant Embellishments, you can feel free to use my discount code of capital Tmika, Tmika 15, in order to save 15% on your purchase of $15 or more. So be sure to check that out. And the first project I created is this stinking cute card. I really like how this card turned out. I started out with some corrugated board that I had in my stash as my card base. I whitewashed all of the edges of the card. Then I layered some white cardstock on top of that just to give it a bit more sturdiness. And then I went to town with the layering. So I started with some lace. If you guys can see, the background of the base card here is covered in lace from Elegant Embellishments. Also, there's lace peeking out everywhere. There's some lace here and some lace here. I cut out just like the ends of it. Here is a fuller piece of the lace with the dangly here. It's tucked behind here. There's also a piece of lace sticking out down here, and the little leaves. I use them as leaves for my card to make it just a bit more shabby. Most of my projects are shabby because I'm into that right now. So I used some flat back pearls from Dee's shop here. I used some flowers from my stash that I just colored with some of my homemade shimmer. Added some stickles just to give it a pop of color. I have Natasha's Scrapbook Corner, little bouquet tucked behind there. I used Witchcraft Do You Do's wooden key. I painted it with just white paint and gesso. I also used Dee's filigrees. Now her filigrees come in your typical metal bronze color, but because I wanted my projects to be a bit more shabby, I used some gesso to go over and then just rubbed it just a bit so they can bring out the stickles where I placed on all of the flower collages. So I placed a corner filigree here and a corner filigree there. I just layered some paper with some pearls from my stash, and then another collection of bouquet of flowers. You can see more of the lace from Dee's shop peeking out down here at the bottom. Got some little flowers all stickled and sprayed with my homemade shimmer. And then I decided to use some of her metal pieces as leaves, and then I again used gesso and took my heat tool to it so it can have a bit more texture, and I just layered in there like a leaf. I stamped Unique on some pattern paper and popped it up on pop dots to go over the key from Witchcraft Do You Do, and just to add like a little sentiment for this card. So pretty. And I will try to attach a picture slideshow of all of the projects that I have created after the video. On the inside, I used the digital file from Spare Marbles. Gorgeous, gorgeous paper, you guys. Definitely check that out. So pretty and so shabby. I just cut it out in a banner shape and layered it on top of the cardstock from my stash. So that's the first card that I created. And I also created a second card to utilize some more of the colors that Dee sent in her package. And this is a purple. I'm not sure how it's coming up on the camera, but it's a pretty lavender, and this is a rich purple color. So it's really, really a cute card. And I'm not particularly fond of using the color purple on cards, but I recently saw a card that had a lot of purple in it, and I was like, maybe I can try that. And I really, really like how it turned out. So I just may be warming up to it. But the products made it look so much better to me. On the inside, again, I just used some corrugated board from my stash and some white cardstock to be able to write a sentiment on this card. And then I layered some white cardstock as my base, on top of my base. I used some pattern paper from my stash, and then I just did a simple punch just to add some decorations to the bottom of my card. I layered some panels, double panels. Base is white, on top is a different color pattern paper from the collection, and then I just layered it, kind of staggered it on top of each other. I used one of Dee's hearts in here, little tiny heart pearl, very, very cute, adds a lot of pop to a project. Again, Natasha's scrapbook corner, which coordinated beautifully with Dee's Elegance Embellishments. I used the dress form, the stinking cute dress form from Which Craft Do You Do. Again, I used some texture on here, some spray paint, and some gesso, and just dabbed it all around the dress form to kind of give it, just to whitewash it down a little bit. Or not whitewash it, just to color it a bit. I used Dee's filigrees again. This one was a square, actually, and I just cut it at a diagonal to make it an extra little something on top of the card here. So, and I added just a tiny random flat back purple trim pearls from my stash. I used Dee's purple or lavender colored lace. It's a very wide lace. This is a small 5.5 by 5.5 card, and this is wide, covers up the whole middle here. I also use another piece of Dee's lace under here. I cut it in half, just put a little piece here and a little piece on the end because I didn't want to use a whole strip since it was useless to put it behind this chipboard piece from my stash. Also used Dee's cameo, cute cameo cover. I love these, very, very pretty. And then I just stamped the word love and then added some glossy accents to the center, and then I made a homemade clay butterfly. So that's this card. I also sprayed it with some of my shimmer, you guys can see on the card. Very, very pretty. Love it. I like using the leftover and the remnants of my some of my projects for cards or just little things so that I can try to use up everything. So this is one of those instances. Okay. The next thing I created was from the Cutting Cafe, and she actually gave us a file. The vintage boot was one of the files that we were to use for the project. So I'm trying to turn it this way so you guys can see. It's so cute. I love how it turned out. So yeah, it's a paper file or digital file. You can cut it out, or you can print it on your machine or cut it out with your machine by hand. But I enlarged it and did something different with it. I made it a stick pin cushion. So I love how it turned out. So this is the back, so you can see the shape of the boot here. Okay, I cut out the pattern, laid it on top of some muslin, and then I used some batting to obviously stuff my shoe. And it could be a wall hanging too, but I really like how flat it is, and I could just stick my pins in there, and it's right there, and a lot of pins. So I really like that. I took Dee's lavender trim. I stitched the ends and pulled it just to make it ruffly. Flipped it on the top here. See? Flipped it on the top to make it look like, you know, like lace or something coming out of a boot. Very cute. I also used some more of Dee's lace under here to add something. Love, love, love the elegance in that. I used a, from One Little Dreamer, a rosette. Love these, so pretty. These are big, the big white ones, so I really like that. And I added some seam binding behind here to kind of tie in the lavender from Dee's shop. And then there's the lace, other half of the lace peeking out at the bottom down there. I'm trying to move it over so you guys can see. See it right down there? This part of the crochet is part of something that I had at home, and I just layered it right on top. So I thought that was so stinking cute. I also added the bags that we got from Spare Marbles. I added, I cut out the lady in the center here and then added glossy accents to it. So, and I put that inside of a bottle cap. And here, right here, I added some of Dee's trim to make it look like a zipper, and then some buttons that I got from my stash. Here's her trim right here. Like, love that braided trim. And then I added some other buttons from my stash to kind of finish off the boots. So really, 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 really cute. I love that, and it coordinates well with this card. So not giving any hints, but love, love, love how the boot turned out. Okay, the next project that I created is this cute little box. Now, I made this box by hand from start to finish. It was so easy. It's made out of medium weight chipboard, and I'm just going to call it my doodad box because I have in here, tucked in here, some embellishments that I made by hand, and it's those things that you want to get to right away so you can leave it on your desk, leave it all in its shabbiness. So it's a good piece to look at when you're walking into your room, and also very functional, which if you know me, you know I like to create 2-in-1s and functional items. So here we go. So this is the box. Very, very cute. Love, 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 love it. I'm serious, I love it. So I used some flowers from all of my stash. All of these up here are from my stash. I tucked in some of Dee's lace here, and then tucked in some lace here all around it. There's some lace back here as well. Some lace tucked in. I just took the little remnants that were left off. You know, you measure a little too much. I tucked them in and used them as leaves and filler pieces. Okay, so this, like I said, I started out with a chipboard box as my base, and then I took these filigrees. All of these are her filigrees. I used them, I bent them after I colored them with gesso. I bent them and used them as feet so they can stand. So I put them on all 4 corners, all the way around. Very, very cute. I love how that turned out. I used a big rose rosette from One Little Dreamer, and also one of these flat back pearls in the center. I did take my heat gun to this rosette and kind of just squish it down a little, you know, melt it down a little bit so it won't be so fluffy around and block the opening of the box. So I did scrunch that down a little bit. These were already small, so I did the same thing just to make them all uniform, and I put them all around the front and the back. The small ones are all around the side, and the larger one is in the front. And then I used some of more of Dee's trim to kind of add some interest on the bottom of the rosettes. And here again, love, love, love that trim in here. Okay, and then that's the top again, some more of that trim sticking out under here. Very, very pretty. I also took these filigrees, cut this one in half. This is these two together is one piece. I just cut it in half. This little cute little doorknob is from her shop, or drawer pull, and I just decided to add that to the end because I wanted the box to close without a closure, so I just use that for a weight, so you can pick it up still with there. But I added a charm, which is this cute, stinking cute cherub hanging off the side, and that helps to keep the door closed so the doodads won't escape. So I like that. On top of the box is a Scrabble tile that I coated with the paper from Spare Marbles, the digital files. So I love how that turned out. Matches perfectly, so I had to stick that in there. And then let me show you some of the doodads in my cute little window doodad box. So I love this paper. Went very, very this paper went very well with this collection. So what I decided to do was take some dominoes and go around the edges with flat back pearls, and then I placed them on top of some butterflies that I just punched out from with a butterfly punch. I made some charms to dangle, and this stays on here. It's attached with a tiny piece of removable adhesive, so when I'm ready to use these embellishments, I can. The paper is actually from Spare Marbles. I cut the paper up and used it to cover my domino, and also my altar tile. Added a tiny little flower and a butterfly punch on the back, and again some more beads that I hung. So that's an extra doodad, and the back is just covered. Okay, so I also made a second one, and this is like a matching set, so we'll go on one particular project because I do have green coordinating beads hanging from the bottom. Same scenario, stickle the wings and everything so that the whole piece comes off, and it's a nice addition to a project. And I did the same thing with the tile, and this paper is from Spare Marbles. Okay, some of my favorites coming up here. Love these vintage charms. Oh my gosh, do I love them. So I used just the same pattern or same paper, layered it on, and love it. So I layered these filigree flower filigree. I took a bottle cap, and again with the vintage lady, that's Spare Marbles digital file, and that's the paper bag that we got again. And then these charms, since this is a beautifully dangling charm, I added bottle cap piece. I added some charms, and these are from Making Memory Crafts. Dee got these extra for us to play with, and this one says Paris, and this has the Eiffel Tower. So this will be good on a project that is, of course, Paris, vintage Paris theme. So stinking cute. I did the same thing over here. I flattened this bottle cap. This one I left popped up, put it on another flower filigree, and then I added some charms that I got from my stash. These pieces here are from Dee's shop. It's actually a 5-petal flower. I think it's 5 petals. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, or 6 petal. It's a 6-petal flower, and then there's a hole punched in the center. But the filigrees are so pliable that I made it look like a bee cap. So really like how that turned out. So that's a very cute little trinket to add to my stash. Oh, and the back of this paper is the Spare Marbles paper. Again, like I said, it's very shabby chic, very pretty collection. So that's that doodad set. Another gorgeous one. Love it. Look at this cute little, so I could actually use this because there's removable adhesive. Whenever I do the Paris, or whoever gets this project does the Paris theme project, this is a tag that they could use, and it's the stamp from that we got from Making Memory Crafts, and it's Eiffel Tower, and it has Paris on it. Very gorgeous stamp. I wet embossed it, so it's with gold embossing powder, and it's super shimmery. So that would match perfectly with the vintage bottle caps, and as well as this charm piece that I created. I layered 2 of these flower filigrees on here. This is from my stash. I thought I gave it an extra, and then I just dangled 2 pieces of chain. This one has some pearls on it hanging, and then this one just is a regular chain. So it's a very dimensional piece, but totally can see that on a box. So cute. And then you reuse the journaling spot. It's blank on the back, but you have this gorgeous Eiffel Tower on the back. So, and that stamp is from Making Memory Crafts. Last but not least of my doodad, and this is the inside of the box here. Okay, is this gorgeous. Oh, I love these Witchcraft Do You Do wooden pieces. This is a bodice using these Elegant Embellishments bling pieces. I outlined the bodice. I would totally rock that if I could. I would wear this. So cute. And then I colored these with some color from my stash, and then I just layered the beads on top to decorate this corset. And then for the dress forms, I colored it again with some different spray mists that I had. Put some shimmer. I know you guys can see that glitter shimmer. Love how that shimmers out, and just added some flowers, tiny flowers from my stash, and then I even stickled the flowers. So whenever I'm ready to use these wooden pieces, it's adhered by a tiny little repositionable tape. I just turn it and take it off. So nobody's going to see the back anyway because it's going to be adhered to a project. So I thought that was really, really cool. Very, very cute. So I really like my doodad box, and I love all of the pre-made embellishments because it makes making your project so much easier. Okay, so of course that's not going to go back how I had it, but that does close tightly. And then the last project that I created, I absolutely love. It's my piece de resistance. Ta-da! So stinking cute. I was so energized, I ran out of words, but that was so stinking cute. Look at that. It's the suitcase file from the Cutting Cafe, and I love, love, love how it turned out. So let me give you an overview. It's in total shabby chicness. Excuse me. Total shabby chicness. So I started out obviously with white cardstock, and I went to town with these filigrees and some lace. So I'll start at the bottom here. Let me flip it over. Underneath, it's done, but I used these filigrees as feet. Can you see? I painted them all up with gesso, folded it under, and then I added a gold stickles to kind of tie in with the rest of the project so it can sit on the whatever project you have it on. That's adhered there with some really, really good glue. So my corners are, I cut out the corners from the Cutting Cafe that came with it, and then I added some triangle golden brads that I had in my stash, and I only had enough to cover the front and back at the top. So I didn't have any more, but what I did was take some gold stickles. Uh-oh, this is a bad angle here. Okay, what I did was take some gold stickles and put them to mimic brads at the bottom of it, and no one is the wiser. Love, love, love it. I'll start over here. I have a floral collage, and again I tuck some more of these lace under here. All of these flowers are from my stash, and then I just dotted them with the gold stickles, and some are painted with some gesso. I tucked in, folded over actually, nice piece of these lace, added some gold trim. This spray is Natasha's Scrapbook Corner. This little heart is a clay heart from the Dee was selling in her shop, Elegant Embellishments. So I made a clay piece there. Some more of the flowers from my stash. And then here's another little bulb from Natasha's Scrapbook Corner. Also, these filigrees painted in white. I used the flowers as leaves. And here is another flat back pearl. I just stickled all around the edges to kind of tie in with everything. I used another filigree as my closure piece, folded it over after I painted it. And then I used another one here, same thing, I painted it, and then I added stickles to all the holes and extra little pieces to kind of bring it in. And this piece closes right behind there, so to keep the box nice and closed. I just stamped Sentiment Beautiful for one of the stamps in my collection, and then I ruffled the edges, whitewashed it, and added some stickles around the edges. Some more of the flowers here, filigree makeshift leaves. I added tucked some more of the lace from Elegant Embellishments. More lace here, flowers from my stash, stickled them with the gold stickles. Here the same thing, some more lace. Natasha's Scrapbook Corners tucked in there as a filler. Another one of her bulbs. I love how they look. They're nice and silky. Here's some more of the trim that I just, gold trim that I just decided to add in there to tie in with the gold. I used a filigree corner piece for the box, top up here, and then also down here. And everything I said has been painted and then heat dried with my heat tool so that it'll have a bit more texture on there. Okay, so that's the top of the box, and then you just would open it. This little filigree piece. Ta-da! There's the inside. Gotta love the shabbiness. So to keep the box open, I used these trim here on the top and the bottom to hold it, and then another little brad from my stash as a decorative element to hide the hot glue. So that keeps the box open so that we can get out another little surprise. Love, love, love it. That's the bottom of the box. See how I wanted to tie in that gold because I knew the paper had gold and white. So definitely wanted to make sure that I tied in. It all coordinates very, very well. This camera is also something that Regina from the Cutting Cafe gave us to use, and I love its shabbiness. It's so shabby. I love it. I love, love, love it. So I used Dee's trim all across here, and then I filled in, this is silver trim, so to tone it down, because I did not want the silver to pop out because I was using gold accents, I added stickles to the center of all of the holes. So that's another way you can just turn something into something else. You just add, you know, I'm going to color it, or you can add it, and in this case I added stickles so that you can't even see the silver. Everything is gold. Okay, so this is the flower, this is the camera file from the Cutting Cafe. I used Dee's trim at the top, and I used her flat back pearl, the circle one, and then I also used the heart one. I put a dab of stickles around all the edges here, around the heart in the center here. Again, I alternated between the flat back circle and the heart, the circle and the heart on the big pieces of the trim. I used one little dreamer, tiny little rosette, and then also one of these flat back decorative elements with some gold stickles in the center. I have flowers from my stash as my focus point on a camera, and I added some swirls, some pearl swirls that I had in my stash as well. This is the same trim that's at the top. I just have it flipped upside down, and I did the same altering thing. So we started with the heart, and then the pearl, and the heart, and the pearl. And again, you can tell I added stickles to all, just tiny little stickles to all the outsides to kind of tie in everything. Okay, I'm going to close this box so it won't be a distraction. You guys can see this. Very, very cute. And then, like I said, this is a camera file. You can put your photos inside. So on the back, I've used the paper from Spare Marbles, some of Dee's lace, and also this Dee's bling. It's gorgeous, gorgeous bling. And I attached it with a magnet so that this can stay closed. And this is the Spare Marbles paper. And then on the inside, this flips down. Look at the gorgeous paper again. So, so, so pretty. And you can put a full 4x6. This is a little bit wider than 4x6. So you can put a full 4x6 photo in top and bottom here. And then on the inside, I have photo mats for all from the paper from Spare Marbles. So you can journal, or you can put a photo on the front and back of every photo mat in here. And look how pretty this paper is. It's the back. Another photo mat. Look at those gorgeous ladies. Love it, love it, love it. And here's one. You can remember this is on that art tile and the Scrabble tile that I did. And again, like I said, that's from Spare Marbles. And then the piece here, some vintage script. Love that. And then that's it. So all of these are little pockets that you can put all these photo tags in. And then once you're done, like I said, I left a little room, and that attaches with the magnet. And then the gorgeousness on the front that sits inside of the beautiful shabby chic box that I created. Love that. And that just tucks right down in there. Okay. And, oh, I forgot to put my pieces back. I'll put those back later. So, going over that. And then, of course, the card. Very pretty. And then the lavender lovely card. We have the gorgeous doodad box. And finally, the boots from the Cutting Cafe. Alright, be sure to check out all the links in the description box. Thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, all of the channels that are in this Spring Fling event. Let me know what you think, and be sure to head back over to Dee's video sometime between May 7th and May 10th to leave a comment on the projects that you enjoyed watching the most. And then last but not least, if you want to purchase something from Elegant Embellishments, Dee's shop, you can use my discount code, all caps, Tmika, Tmika 15. Thank you guys so much for watching, staying concentrated on this video for 27 minutes. I appreciate your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you guys. Bye.